Hello and welcome to Lady Dynamite Creates. I'm Tiffany, and let's be real, it may just now be October, but Halloween season has been here for me. I've spent the last month decking out my house with all the spooky decor inside and out, but now I'm super pumped to dive into this year's Halloween doll. So grab your broomsticks, people, let's get crafting. Draculaura is my base of choice because honestly, how can I resist those killer curves? With a flick of my wrist, her hair is gone, and then pop, off goes her head in a snap. A little acetone magic and voila, I've got a fresh clean canvas to work with. But before the reroute, it's time to paint the scalp and get things prepped. A bit of hot water tames the hair so that it's not quite so poofy. If only this whole process was as easy as it looks. Doll hair just doesn't reroot itself after all. Now that all that prep work is done, it's time to dive into the fun part, the outfit. I'm channeling some major modern witchy vibes for this one. Think a chic sweetheart bandeau with pentagram straps. Cute, spooky, and just a little bit magical. I've cut my pattern from some faux leather, so I won't need to hem it. It's a thicker fabric, so a hem would be too bulky anyway. With the base of the top all done, it's time to work some pentagram magic. I stitch embroidery floss into the perfect shape, keeping the stitches tiny so they stay hidden. But the top's still looking a bit plain for my liking, so let's add some spooky embellishments to really make it pop because every witch needs a little flair, right? On to the skirt. I had trouble deciding on the bottom of her outfit and actually went through 7 iterations between paper mock-ups and trials before landing on this design. I knew I wanted to show a lot of leg and have some kind of a peekaboo element, and this style seemed to be the perfect fit with its high slits. The slits and the bottom edge of the skirt need to be finished, but instead of stitching the hem, I opted for hem tape for a smoother finish. The skirt's done, but it's definitely missing that extra witchy flair, so let's kick it up a notch. I'm adding ribbons and buckles to the front for fake straps. A few chains here, a sprinkle of embellishments there, and boom! Now we've got a skirt worthy of a modern witch. Accessory time! I knew I had to give her shoes that really made a statement, so I designed these spine heel peep-toed platforms because why not go all out, right? It took a few tries to get them right, but totally worth the effort. They look fierce. The printing process does leave them in need of some sanding to smooth them out, but once they're all polished up, they're killer. I originally planned to offer these in my shop, but since they are so tricky to print, they're a special Dynamite tier Patreon exclusive for October. I just wanted to take a quick moment to send a huge shout out and heartfelt thank you to all of my amazing supporters on Patreon. You all are amazing, and your support truly makes my creative journey even more special. Angel Book Walter, Awkward Bird, B. Burnett, Deborah Sweeney, Jay Zur, Stephanie L., Booniwa, Cat C, Delicious, Vex Mini Studio, Josephine, Kitsy, K. Whippel, Lindsay, The Oak Magpie, Tara N. If you're into dolls and creative projects, I'd love for you to join me on Patreon. You'll get exclusive access to all of the behind-the-scenes action. I masked the 2 sections off camera and get them spray painted, but after the quick paint job, I hit the black areas with glossy UV top coat for that extra shine. These shoes, absolutely slaying. I'm obsessed with the glossy black and silver combo. It's pure witchy perfection. To finish her look, I add some asymmetrical earrings and top it off with a cute hat that I grabbed from the craft store. Alright, it's face-up time. This is my absolute favorite part of the doll customization because this is where the magic really happens and the character starts to come to life. For this project, I'm using a mix of watercolor pencils and pastels. If you're curious about the exact brands I swear by, don't worry, I've dropped a full list in the description box below. Trust me, I've been through enough trial and error to save you a headache if you're just starting. First, I prep the doll's vinyl with a few coats of Mr. Super Clear. This stuff is a necessity for getting that perfect paper-like surface to draw on. I layer it up, 3 coats total, giving about 30 minutes in between to dry. Patience is key because if you rush it, you won't get that papery surface that you need for pencils and pastels to adhere. Once that's done, I jump into sketching her features. Normally, symmetry and finding the right eye shape gives me a bit of a headache, but this time it all just clicked. Everything fell into place like it was meant to be. I've worked on a few G3 Draculauras now, and I have to say I love this face mold. It's wild how different each face-up can look on the same mold, even when it's by the same artist. It's like each doll has its own vibe just waiting to come out. I originally planned to give her a bold red makeup look to really pop against her purple hair, but it just wasn't clicking in the end, so I switched gears and leaned into more purple hues. And I'm so glad I did. It just pulls the whole look together. I also wanted to play up her pale skin, adding some highlights and dark lips to really make her features stand out. And those pale blue veins, they add the perfect spooky touch, contrasting against that ghostly complexion. She gives off some serious supernatural vibes. I decided to match her brows to her hair with a deep purple hue because why not, right? I like to imagine she's absorbed so much magical essence it's seeped into every part of her, transforming her into a fantastical otherworldly being. It's like the magic itself has become a part of her. I was totally channeling my inner witch when I dreamed up this doll. I wanted to give it a fresh modern twist, something a bit more grown up and stylish. Growing up in the era of Charmed and the Craft, I feel like witches are practically in my blood. I always imagined how amazing it would be to have magical powers and cast spells. I definitely would have put some curses on a few people. What about you? If you had magical powers, what kind of spells would you cast? I spent most of the face-up process totally stuck on her eye color. I wanted something that would work with her purple hair and the red makeup I originally had in mind, but nothing was clicking. That's why she sat for ages with just an iris outline. But as time went on, the lack of color started to grow on me, so I went for a striking gray eye. Sometimes less is more, and in this case, it gives her that ethereal vibe that I love. This is the moment that I had to face the truth. I was not loving how the red was turning out. So I started shifting it to a purple, slowly tweaking the hue until it felt right. The good news, red is super easy to transition into purple, so I didn't have to wipe away any of my previous work. No starting from scratch here, just a smooth color shift that brought her look to life, giving her that moody, mysterious essence she deserves. This face-up is almost complete and it's time for the fun part, adding those finishing touches. I'm popping in some highlights to the waterline and catch lights to make her eyes sparkle. And just like that, Amethyst is ready to shine. Now she just needs a quick styling session to get her ready for the spotlight. She turned out absolutely perfect and I'm totally obsessed with making these vampy witches. Amethyst is now up for grabs on my Etsy shop, so if you want to add her to your collection, come on over and check her out. I've got some other cool creations waiting for you, including some fabulous 3D printed shoes. Thanks for hanging out with me on this creative journey. Your support means the world, and remember, always be creating!